Platformers are some of my favorite types of games to play. Games from Little Nightmares and Inside to Geometry Dash, and even going way back to one of the best platforming games ever made, Little Big Planet 2. Well, not all platforming games need to cost money. Actually, some of my favorite platforming games are actually free. How's it going, everyone? I'm Caleb from Cubold Gaming, and here are some of the best free platforming games that you can get right now on Steam. This list is pretty lengthy and not in any particular order because, in all honesty, I've had a lot of fun with all of these games, and Mobler is not only fun, but also addicting. So the goal of the game is pretty simple. Basically, you play as Birdo, this little bird ducky thing, and you climb the endless falling furniture to get as many points as possible. While you climb the falling furniture, you also need to do it fast enough so that you don't get eaten by the monster. The game has a lot of charm and, like I said, really simple but extremely fun. The colors, atmosphere, and soundtrack that Himno offers honestly blew me away. The game is extremely relaxing. So Himno is a 2D platforming game that throws you into procedurally generated maps that you can traverse with sliding, wall jumping, and moving platforms. Himno is a great platformer that I think everyone should at least give a try. And something I'm also excited for is that there's also going to be a roguelike standalone extension that'll be coming out soon for the game, which should definitely be something you should keep an eye out for. So if you're into fast-paced, techno-themed platformers, then I think Vectromirror is a game you should look into. The game definitely looks interesting, but what really is kind of the main feature of the game is the ability you have when it comes to specific blocks in the game. You can manipulate the blocks by either pulling or pushing them to help you move around the level and get past certain things. It is a little on the short side, but it's a really cool game that's worth looking into. Also, if you're enjoying the video so far, leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel really helps us out. We also have a gaming podcast called Cubold Cast, which is a better way of getting to know our opinion on games in a longer, more relaxed format. Anyway, back to the list. Something I was not expecting was how good of a game Ties was. Ties sets you in an alien world playing as a little boy named Mink, joined with a little alien-like creature on your head called Gum. It's an open world type platformer, which I was, like I said, blown away by. The world is actually way bigger than I was thinking it would be, and aside from a few bugs here and there, it's really enjoyable and a unique experience. The game has a lot of personality to it, and the mechanics are pretty solid. Honestly, if I didn't already know it was free, I would have guessed it would cost some money. Honestly, I was really impressed with Ties, and I recommend checking it out. Although it's a short one, Nohra is definitely a platformer that I think you should check out. From what I can gather, you play as some sort of creature trying to escape an abandoned laboratory. And the real reason I have this game on the list is the absolutely solid gameplay. There is a feature where you phase around and it works so well. Not only that, but you can also shift time and slow it down. It's not really that the map is structured well or that the platforming aspect is difficult, but more that the game mechanics work so well that I had to put it on the list. Again, a really short one, but really worth playing through. Okay, so I may be reaching a little on this one, but Guiding Light is such a charming and unique little game that I couldn't pass up on putting it on the list. So the game is a co-op only game where one player plays in first person as an alien on the ground and the other plays as the UFO. You both work together to rescue the alien on each map, and there aren't a lot of maps, but the puzzles were crazy fun and it was honestly really hard to get off the game. It can be a little buggy at times and it definitely doesn't look impressive, but the game is extremely charming, and if you have a friend to play with, you gotta try it for yourself. Another addicting platformer game is FrostRunner. It's got a unique look and a really cool tethering feature. There are 36 levels, and again, I think the footage here really speaks for itself. The tethering and the movement is fast-paced and felt great. It's got a lot of good feedback, and FrostRunner is another great option you should look into. I usually try not to add prologues or demos in the list that I make, but Sockventure was just too good to not add it to the list. So you play as a little sock superhero character, making your way through the evil washing machine. This prologue has over 50 levels, and the game just feels premium. The theme is just really fun, and the colors and graphics are spot on. Like I said before, I usually never even bother adding prologues, but this one has so many levels and is so refined and fun to play that I gotta recommend it. I know it may not look like it, but Dark Roll is probably one of, if not the most unique platforming game on this list. You play as a little ball, which you can actually get skins for, and you move around the level, kind of trying to balance yourself the whole time. It takes some patience and precision, but once you get the hang of it, the game is great. You got 20 different maps in an endless mode too. It's got this kind of weird darkish tone, and you even run into some moving threats that'll kill you. Dark Roll can be challenging, but it's a really solid platforming game. Another game that really surprised me, and maybe even more than the rest, was Micro Platformer. It looks super basic and honestly even boring, but don't let the simple graphics turn you away from this game. The game is amazing. So you basically avoid the harmful objects and surfaces and try and make it to the end of the level. It's probably the most minimal platformer that I've ever played, and I think the pure platforming focus here is really what gives the game its addicting gameplay. I really can't stress this enough, but you really just need to try this game out. Also, it's not just me that thinks this. On Steam, Micro Platformer holds an overwhelmingly positive review status, and it actually came out pretty recently too. It's one of those games where I can't really explain it, but I think you'll get addicted to it just like me. So BirdGut is a completely hand-drawn 2D platforming game that sets you basically as a rejected bee that gets eaten by a bird. You then traverse through the bird's intestines, which are levels, and discover that the bird's insides are actually facilities where the eaten insects are brainwashed and enslaved. Besides having a super weird premise, the game is extremely charming and really fun to play. It's got at least a couple hours of gameplay, and most likely more than that. Another cool thing about the game is that it actually was developed by one person. This one is a must-try even for the weird premise itself. BirdGut is yet another good option that you can add to your library. So kind of similar to Vectromirror, Neon Boost is another fast first-person platforming game. It does differ in that the game mechanics mainly focus around the rocket launcher that you have with you. There are 72 different levels, wall running, awesome techno music, and the ability to use your rocket launcher arm to either break through walls or propel yourself further in the level. It's one of those games where you may find yourself raging, but you'll want to play it more to get a higher score. Honestly, I think the game speaks for itself. It's a great platforming game and a really solid choice in this list. So for my last game on the list, I have Astria. I really wanted to highlight this game because of the crazy amount of content that you get for free here. The game is single player and has a full story with dialogue and character voice acting with some actual personality. I mean, granted, it isn't anything crazy, but I was still impressed. The puzzle and platforming elements reminded me a lot of Portal. The whole level scene is kind of bland, but the gameplay mechanics make up for it. So this game offers anywhere from 4 to even 12 hours of gameplay, and if you want a bit of a longer puzzle platforming experience, then Astria is yet another great addition to your library. Alright, well, that'll be it for this video. I hope you were able to find some games that you can add to your Steam library, and if I missed any, or if you have some favorites of your own that weren't in the list, let me know down below in the comments. Again, leaving a like and subbing to the channel is always appreciated. Be sure to check out our gaming podcast and Discord server, both are linked below.